Yeah, get up now, come on now, get up. From mornings with Vernon. Get up now, let's go. Get up now, turn it up now. 1, 2, 3, let's get it now.
Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay. WBQP is your information station.
It's Tuesday. Get in the swing of things with Morning with Vernon.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. From Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
All right, everybody. Good morning. Morning with Vernon. I got to get my coffee cup going on, y'all. Good morning. How y'all doing this morning? Yeah, it is Tuesday morning, y'all. It is Tuesday, y'all. And I can tell you what, it is time to do the news. It is time to tell everybody. 6:30 a.m. I say good morning, everybody listening to me this morning. Let's go over some of the stuff that we're going to talk about this morning, if you will. But first thing, let me tell y'all, we're going to probably need to understand how to get this station first of all, okay? Let's go over that first thing, because you might forget how to do that, all right, before we get into everything else. All right.
Here's how you can watch and listen to WBQP, the voice of the Black community. Get us with an antenna on WBQP 12.1.
Crystal clear.
The station that cares. Go to Play Store and download the WBQP app on your phone, tablet, or watch. The voice of the Black community.
WBQP TV streaming on Apple TV, Fire TV, Roku TV, and other streaming devices.
You can get WBQP by downloading the phone app or typing RDO.2 WBQP in your browser.
WBQP.
You can find us on your favorite platforms.
We are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, the voice of the Black community. To watch WBQP on your computer, go to WBQPTV.com or go to Google and type in WBQP, the voice of the Black community.
Get WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay. Your community station, wherever you go.
Alexa, enable the WBQP skill and play WBQP Pensacola.
Listen to WBQP Radio in your car on CarPlay or Android Auto while you're on the go.
WBQP, the voice of the Black community, an information station that cares. WBQP, the station that cares. Now, go tell everybody how to watch and listen to WBQP.
That's right. Go tell everybody. Y'all get your coffee this morning. Lois, get your coffee, sugar. Good coffee. Good coffee. How everybody doing this morning? No day is Tuesday. It's the 7th day of the month of July. Half of the year is gone, y'all. 6:33 Central Standard Time right here in Pensacola, Florida. And I want to say hello to everybody under the sound of my voice this morning. I tell you what we're going to do this morning. We want to start the day off with a prayer. And if you need a change of prayer this morning, just call Dr. Gerald Gaston. But can we start off with the prayer, y'all? Bow your heads, y'all. Come on, let's start off with a prayer this morning, okay? Reverend Gaston, can we do that?
Our Father God, we lift our eyes up unto the hills from whence cometh your help, knowing that your help cometh from above. And so, dear God, we come to petition you this morning and to seek you out for the blessings of life. Not only for this morning, but for this afternoon and for the last watch of the day. We seek you out for the blessings of life. Now, Lord, ordain your blessings upon us, upon this waiting congregation, under the sound of my weak voice. We pray in the belovedness of Jesus the Christ, our Lord, our Savior, our God. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Now let's talk about what's in the Cheryl. What's in the weather this morning, baby? Do you have any weather condition for us this morning, Cheryl?
Hi, Vernon. Here's your
Hi.
WBQP weekly weather forecast. We're in for another hot and humid week across the Gulf Coast. On Tuesday, skies will be partly cloudy with a 60% chance of a passing shower. Afternoon temperatures climb to 90 degrees with lows around 77.
All right. Thank you, Sugar. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. How about, I guess I better go over to my girl Lola to see if she got any traffic stuff for this morning. Lola, good morning, Sugar. Do you have any traffic stuff going on for us this morning?
Good morning, Vernon. This is Lola with today's traffic report. As the work week gets into full swing, expect moderate to heavy traffic on the area's major highways and commuter routes between 6:45 a.m. and 8:45 a.m. Drivers on Interstate 10 should allow a few extra minutes through the US 29 interchange, where long-term construction continues. Lane shifts remain in place between US 29 and I-110, so stay alert and reduce your speed through the work zone. If you're traveling on I-10 near the 9 Mile Road interchange, exit 5, expect changing traffic patterns as the major interchange reconstruction project continues. Westbound traffic has been shifted onto a temporary alignment, and drivers should pay close attention to construction signs and reduced speeds. Traffic on Interstate 110 is expected to move steadily into downtown Pensacola during the morning commute. Slowdowns are possible near the Garden Street and Cervantes Street exits, particularly as traffic merges into the downtown business district. On city streets, expect heavier traffic along Davis Highway, 9 Mile Road, 9th Avenue, Bayou Boulevard, Cervantes Street, Mobile Highway, Airport Boulevard, and Highway 98. School activities, delivery traffic, and the return to a normal work schedule may create delays at major intersections. Motorists heading toward Gulf Breeze, Pensacola Beach, and Navarre should expect moderate traffic across the Pensacola Bay Bridge, with travel times increasing slightly after 7:30 this morning. Weather conditions are expected to be hot and humid, with good visibility early today. However, scattered afternoon thunderstorms could develop later, making roads slick during the evening commute. If you encounter rain, slow down, leave extra following distance, and turn on your headlights. Before you leave home, check Florida 511 or your preferred traffic app for real-time traffic conditions, construction updates, and any unexpected incidents. That's your WBQP traffic report for Tuesday, July 7th, 2026. I'm wishing you a safe commute. Buckle up, stay alert, and thanks for making WBQP your information station.
Thank you, Lola Sugar. I appreciate you. Okay, did y'all play the lottery last night? If you didn't, y'all, let's see what the lottery results are going to be like. To see if you didn't play it, maybe played it over the weekend, and maybe that's what you see. Get the result. Get your tickets out. Okay. See that you play
Vernon, it's Monday. Did you check your lottery tickets? If not,
Tuesday, bro.
check it out.
It's Monday. I am sorry Wee Wee didn't win the lotto. Don't tell Mary, but I still love you. Try the casino. Vernon, it's Tuesday, sugar. Time to play lotto to check last night's tickets. We gotta win, baby. Love you.
That was my Tuesday ticket, girl. I tell you the truth, y'all. Good morning. If you didn't win the lotto, if you didn't win it, keep playing, keep playing. It will come up. All right, y'all. Good morning. Since it's Tuesday, I need to check over with my buddy Orion, okay? And Orion is going to give us some information about the
And welcome to the WBQP Sports Report. Here's what's happening in sports this week. The sports world continues to focus on the 2026 FIFA World Cup as the tournament moves into the knockout stage. The round of 16 is underway, with powerhouse nations battling for a place in the quarterfinals. The United States is set for a high-stakes matchup against Belgium, while Brazil, England, France, Argentina, Spain, and Portugal continue their quest for the World Cup title. Over in London, Wimbledon is heating up as the tournament reaches the quarterfinals. Tennis fans are watching Novak Djokovic continue his pursuit of another Grand Slam championship, while Naomi Osaka delivered one of the tournament's biggest upsets by defeating top-seeded Aryna Sabalenka to advance. Defending champion Jannik Sinner and Coco Gauff remain among the players to watch this week. On the baseball diamond, Major League Baseball enters an important stretch before next week's All-Star festivities. Teams across both leagues are looking to build momentum as the race for division titles continues through the summer. In the WNBA, the regular season continues with several key matchups after the New York Liberty captured the 2026 Commissioner's Cup Championship. Teams are now turning their attention back to the race for playoff positioning.
Locally, Pensacola sports fans can continue supporting the Pensacola Blue Wahoos as they battle through the minor league baseball season. The Pensacola Ice Flyers continue preparing for the upcoming hockey season, while the UWF Argonauts are gearing up for fall sports and football camp later this summer. And finally, this is also a busy week for motorsports, cycling, and golf, with the Tour de France continuing across France and racing fans following another exciting weekend of competition. That's your WBQP Sports Report for the week of July 6th. I'm Orion. Thank you for watching WBQP TV, the voice of the Black community. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time on WBQP Sports. Over.
Thank you, Orion. That's Orion, y'all, with WBQP Sports. And we're going to talk about sport. You know, folks in America getting into this soccer stuff, y'all, and they had the match last night. But we're going to talk about that in the news where Donald Trump tried to put his thumb on the scale again. He can't do nothing without cheating in his life. I just don't understand it. But today is Tuesday, y'all. Let's talk about what we're gonna do today, right here, on the morning with Vernon. So besides getting that cup of coffee this morning, yeah. It just makes your heart feels good. Yeah. Okay. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Today is Tuesday. One of the things I want to give you today, I'm gonna try to find you some news you can use that happened in the African American community, y'all. Okay. I don't have to go with my girl Naomi. Naomi gonna have to tell us about what's happening around the world in African American world. Then we're gonna go to that after. We're going to have other news that we can use. We're going to talk about the traditional news we can use, stuff that happened in and around our community, in and around our city, in and around our county, in and around our state, in and around our country this morning. Just some basic headlines that we usually talk about, some news that you can use, if you will. And then at 7:30, jobs, y'all. We wanna talk about jobs, jobs that would create something that would create some wealth for you, y'all. Okay, and so we're gonna do the job search with ECUA. Yesterday we talked to Miss Clara Long. She talked to us about the number of jobs available in the county, and so she would talk about this morning at ECUA, Shakita Payne, and Shakita got a sidekick as well. They're gonna let us know what's happening with the job front. Then I'm gonna be joined this morning by my co-host on Tuesday, Mr. Jared McIntosh, and then we're gonna talk about a whole lot of things. If I get a minute, I want to go ahead and talk about, get a little motivational project in this morning before I go to my commercial break. But after Jared comes on at 8:00, y'all, we're gonna be having the mayor on or his trusted advisor. If we don't have Mayor D.C. Reeves on this morning, he may come on this morning and may talk about that tragic incident that happened downtown Pensacola, where we got one person died and 6 people shot. They had over 20 fights over the weekend over the 4th of July weekend. When what my grandmama used to always say, when it rained, it poured. We went to a dry spell for a minute. When I talked to Mike Woods every Monday, he didn't have much to report in terms of crime, but just overnight, they just made up for it just one night. But maybe Mayor D.C. Reed may be talking about that this morning. If he's not on, and sometimes he's out of town, then he sent his most trusted assistant city administrator, which is Mr. Cliff Collins. Cliff keeps us up to date with all of the happenings in the city of Pensacola, all the projects and what's going on in the city of Pensacola. And so we'll be talking to him, or we'll be talking to the mayor this morning. And around 8:30, y'all, you might want to stay tuned. We got a special guest this morning at 8:30. Her name is Dottie Joseph, and she's running for governor. Black woman here is running for governor. Her name is Dottie Joseph. She's been one of the representatives down in one of the districts down in Miami, in the Miami area. Now she put her name and her hat in for the governorship. I think she must have put her hat in there too. I see her name, but I don't see her hat. So her hat must be into the pot for governor. So we're going to be talking to Miss Dottie Joseph at 8:30 time frame this morning. Okay. And so y'all tell everybody that we're on and everything. One of the things that I do want you to know about WBQP, we try to inform and educate people about what's happening in our community. I got a slogan. All righty. Now listen, I'm gonna have to do my first commercial break of the morning, and then when we come back from the first commercial break, we're gonna be talking about some news that you can use in our community. After that, all right. So stay tuned.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out.
Navigating heart care can be challenging. Baptist makes it better with the latest treatments and innovations and the area's largest, most experienced heart team ready to create a care plan just for you. All when you need us most. Let Baptist make it better. Baptist Healthcare.
I remember these. Will I have the money to send my kid to college? Well, that's specific. How long has that been there? 7-letter word for a bank that helps you reach your goals.
Synovus. Order for Synovus?
Thank you.
Are you Synovus?
Yes.
Are you gonna ask or should I?
A solid financial future doesn't happen by chance. Let's talk about your potential today. For 75 years, Baptist has brought innovative care to our community. Through our Andrews Institute, we continue the legacy by providing advanced total joint care, restoring mobility, strength, and quality of life. Baptist Healthcare, here for you then, now, and always.
Vernon, it's Monday. Did you check your lottery tickets? If not, check it out.
It's Monday. I am sorry Wee Wee didn't win the lotto. Don't tell Mary, but I still love you. Try the casino.
Why wait? With Penn Air's fast approvals and low rates, getting a car loan is easier than ever. Penn Air Credit Union. Join us.
Choosing the right school is one of the most important decisions you'll make for your child. At Jacqueline Harris Preparatory Academy, we provide a safe, supporting environment where students grow academically and personally. With strong core instruction and unique programs, students gain confidence, creativity, and real-world skills. At JHPA, we live by our motto, enter to learn, depart to serve. Enroll today and prepare your child to soar.
Hello, I'm Dr. Isaac Williams, and I'm running for School Board District 3. Our community is asking for change, and I agree. District 3 deserves change. District 3 deserves a representative who will listen, communicate, and stay connected to the community. Our students need every opportunity to succeed. Our teachers need support, and our community and parents need a voice. I've spent my time as a servant leader in the Marine Corps, as a pastor, as a community activist, and I'm prepared now to serve District 3 on day one. And I will be honored to earn your support and your vote on August 18th. God bless you. God keep you.
Keep growing.
Remember where you came from. It's the foundation of who you are.
Show up for others.
That's been our approach at Penn Air for 90 years. Penn Air Credit Union, 90 years strong.
Hello, I'm David Williams, District 3 Representative, seeking re-election to the Escambia County School Board. 4 years ago, I said, together we can make a difference. Today, I'm proud to say, together we have made a difference, thanks to your trust. And because of you, we do not have any failing schools. Our schools are safer. We've closed the achievement gap, and our students are college and career ready. I'm asking for your support again to re-elect me so that we continue the work that we started 4 years ago. Please visit my website at davidwilliams3.com to learn more about my initiatives I have accomplished and the ones I will pursue over the next 4 years. Early voting is August 8th through the 15th, and the primary is August 18th. Your vote is essential to keeping our community moving forward. Thank you.
This is Prayer Perspectives by J.O. Gatson on your WBQP.
Hi, this is J.O. Gatson of Emmaus Baptist Church, Pensacola, Florida, and we come to you on this beautiful Tuesday that the Lord has given us. As a matter of fact, it's our Testimony Tuesday, and we've come to bless His name in sacred words of prayer. Let us pray. Father God, we come that we may testify on this Testimony Tuesday of your goodness in spite of our difficulties, our situations, our circumstances, in spite of what's ahead of us, as Mama would say. We've come to testify of your goodness and to say thank you. And so, Lord, this is our premise this morning. That is to bless you on this Tuesday, dear God, and to seek you out for the blessings of life. As we pray now in the belovedness of Jesus the Christ, our Lord, our Savior, our God, the master of the seed, our disparity. Amen.
WBQP salutes the spirit of America, celebrating 250 years of freedom. Happy birthday, USA!
WBQP goals are to inform, to inspire, to educate, and to entertain. The station that cares.
Hi, Vernon. Here's your WBQP weekly weather forecast. We're in for another hot and humid week across the Gulf Coast. On Tuesday, skies will be partly cloudy with a 60% chance of a passing shower. Afternoon temperatures climb to 90 degrees with lows around 77. Wednesday stays hot with partly cloudy skies and a 40% chance of rain. Look for a high of 92 degrees with a low of 79. Thursday continues the summer pattern with a high of 93 degrees, a low of 80, and another 40% chance of scattered showers. And we wrap up the week on Friday with highs near 92 degrees, overnight lows around 80, and a 40% chance of rain. Overall, expect hot afternoons, warm nights, and daily opportunities for passing showers. This is Cheryl Mulrain, and that's your weekly weather forecast on WBQP TV.
The voice of the Black community. Your information station.
Station that cares.
WBQP TV and radio. The station that cares.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's a beautiful day out there. Let's get you caught up on everything.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now, let's go. Get up now, turn it up now. 1, 2, 3, let's get it now.
All right, y'all, good morning. You know we are the voice of the Black community, WBQP TV and WBQP Radio, y'all. I want to say good morning to everybody that's under the sound of my voice this morning. And I want to get into some of the news headlines that have been circulating in and around our community today. And so see if we can start some of that going this morning. All right. Good morning, y'all. News you can use.
Can you believe it's Tuesday already, Vernon?
Not only that, Vernon has news you can use, so listen up.
All right, y'all, you got news you can use. News only my style. My flavor of news this morning, y'all. My flavor of news this morning. Let's get into what has been we've been talking about all week long. Okay, all weekend and all week long, the tragic incident that happened downtown over the weekend, where one person lost his life and 6 other people have been hospitalized in a senseless shooting that's happened over that's happened over the weekend, y'all. And so, but the city officials and everybody been getting together and community leaders and everybody trying to figure out what can we do about it. They've been talking about doing the curfew now, and the main concern was, and parents, we're gonna have to get involved as well. Okay, as parents, we definitely need to get involved because it was like 1:30 or 1:20 in the morning while you had 14, 15, 16-year-old kids out on the street that time of day. And parents, you got to be concerned. It could have been your child hit by a stray bullet, okay? And 14, 15, what number one, what a child that age doing downtown unsupervised even in the first place. So there's been some talk with the police chief and the mayor. And the mayor may come on this morning. We may talk about that. But if he don't come on, we still need to talk about this senseless shooting of a 19-year-old man. They did identify the 19-year-old as a high school as a high school graduate, just graduated from high school, I understand. And he was a football star, if you will. And and I know people that know him. But anyway, the mayor and the chief of police and community leaders, they're all trying to get together to determine whether or not they are going to what they intend to do about this and how we can head this off. Okay. They had a lot of law enforcement officers over there. They understand they had about 20 fights during that time, and then the shooting, and they arrested 9 people during that whole process, and there was ages between 14 and 22 years old, and now we're just gonna have to see what can we do about this, okay? And the sheriff, the chief here, Pensacola police chief, now new chief, he says that this incident, excuse me, y'all. The chief said that the incident started from, it may be it's a rival gang related retaliation, and if it is, if one retaliation shooting me downtown, wherever it might be, it's going to probably lead to another retaliation shooting. So I want you to make sure you keep your eyes on your kids, keep them in the house, find something for them to do this summer, okay? Other than just sitting around not doing anything. Find them a job, get them into some activities, do something to keep these kids busy, because if you don't keep them busy, they're going to find things, other folks are going to find things to keep them busy for. But Chief Winston said he believed, they don't know how concrete facts yet, but he said he believed that this beef that happens right on the weekend stemmed from years of gang-related feuds. He says that he think that was the main cause of it. I can remember 14 years ago, our friend Sidney Martin, you see her out in the community, her son was Matthew, he was shot and killed at his home in Montclair. And so this is a lot of the crazy things that's happening, and that shouldn't be. These kids should be growing up to be professional football stars and everything else, but yet we have to have to bury them. Y'all remember the Clary shooting that there on Massachusetts and Fairfield Drive. So I just want everybody to be careful and kind of keep your eyes out on what's happening. This is a young man here, y'all. This is the young man here that was lost his life. He was a Pensacola High grad, and he was fatally wounded during that shooting on Monday night. His name is Philip Devon Monte Shepard Jr. Everybody knew him as PJ in the community. And he was one of 7 people that was shot. And I don't have the names of the other 7 people, but we need to make sure that we keep an eye and try to protect our children. Everybody that know PJ, and I was talking to Commissioner May yesterday, because he's in the sports and he know all these guys. And so it's just a tragic loss within our community and in our young folks, that it didn't have to be, just did not have to be, but it was. And so y'all make sure that we take care of our children, okay? All right, let's move on to another story here. The story here is that the I-10 was blocked the other day due to an accident in I-10 involving a camper and a SUV, okay, and one hit the other, and it caused the vehicle to roll, and they blocked the interstate there along. I believe it was like interstate right along my market, 10 or 20 or something like this here in Escambia County. So again, that's another precautionary tale too. You make sure that you drive safe. 10 people, was involved with this altogether, but 6 passengers was injured in this incident. And so a driver, the SUV, and the driver of the camper, they got it on the investigation. They don't know exactly how it happened, but again, a 3-year-old boy was among the passengers that received some injuries during that incident, during that accident. Okay, where people tried to pass and well, you know how I think in this case the SUV was traveling in the outside lane when he ran off the edge of the road. You know how it is, and get a move. And then he tried to he overcorrected, as I understand it, and went into the path and swayed into that travel trailer where it was torn, and it rolled it over and so forth. So then the word of the day is just be careful out there. Okay, let's go on to a different story this morning. That's a headline story that I want you to pay attention to. It is that it's a move on right now just to try, and I think I forget what country it is that banned young people from social media. California got a bill out now trying to do the same thing. Okay, they got a bill out trying to ban social media. So I don't know, how do you feel about that? How do you think that most young people should not be using social media? That's a story you need to probably keep your eyes out on. Okay, keep your eyes out on that story, because it gaining momentum. You know, most young people and older folks too. We live on social media. So what they're trying to do is just make sure that kids under 16 is not too much influenced by social media. They did a research. The Pew Research Center did a survey on that, and so that led California to try to establish some kind of laws and procedures or blueprint, whatever you want to call it, to try to help contain this thing on social media. The research found that 50% of an adult supports social media ban for kids under 16, and another 21% oppose it, and 23 are unsure. So keep your eyes on that story that we're gonna try to ban social media for young people. I don't know whether that's gonna work or not, but we'll see what happens in that arena there. All right, y'all, here's another story of a 29-year-old motorcyclist, okay, was killed in an incident here in Pensacola. So again, y'all, you hear me say this all the time, okay? Please be careful. Be looking out. You got to look out. You got to look out for these motorcycles. And I think I just said yesterday, we got to have this. You can't even see a big old car in your mirror, okay? In your mirror that's driving alongside you. How are you gonna see? You can easily miss a motorcycle. So we got to have some warning to let us know that motorcycles is in our way, okay? And my thing is, I think they ought to require strobe lights or something like that, just like the blind side mirror. You know, they long finally decided that, and it's still an option. It's not. It should be mandatory on every car in America with the blind side mirror detector. You know, look in your mirror and you don't know, you can't see a car. As big as a car is, you can look in your mirror, they can be right side you, and you can't see it. And then if you change lanes, you run right into it. So they solved that problem by putting blind side indicators into mirrors, but it's optional. It's not mandatory on all cars, okay? And I don't understand why. Same thing with motorcycles. I think that we should have some way identifying that motorcycles is now present. And sometimes you hear all that noise, boom, that that sometimes helps, but they don't always help. But sometimes when you fail to see a motorcycle, it's always going to come out tragic. And always going to come, most of the time, it's going to come out tragic for the person that riding the motorcycle. And even in my infant wisdom, okay, I don't understand why they banned helmets and the motorcycle. I know sometimes it's not going to help regardless, but in some incidents, it would help. So, but the man that was driving the vehicle, just did not see the motorcycle, and he started to do a U-turn in front of the motorcycle, and they struck it right on just broadsided it, and threw the motorcycle some 90 feet from the point of impact. So the driver suffered some minor injuries, but the motorcyclist did not survive. Okay, so just another sad case of stuff like that. I don't understand it. Okay, let's move on to another story here. Now, I want to move from motorcycles to bicycles, okay? Wow. And now bicycles has gained a lot more popularity now that we don't have to pedal them. We're too late. They got e-bikes now. E-bikes. So and now we beginning to see more the incidents of bikes are creeping up, just like in this case here. 53-year-old bicyclist was critically injured when he crashed into a SUV over in Santa Rosa County. So again, word of caution, y'all. Word of caution. Just be careful. Okay. All right, let's move on to another story that's probably in the headline. You probably get your details. Get it from WEAR TV. They are our local news folks. WALA, NBC 15. All of the network stations carry the news, and so do Pensacola News Journal. I'm reporting what I report Now I gained my information from them, but as I always tell you, you always don't get your news from just one source. Sometimes you have to trust and verify. You got to verify some of this news as well, because some of it, just like my news, it's gonna be biased. Comes with a little bit of taint to it. Okay, so so that's where you got to make sure that you you got to make sure that you getting all the news for. And I want to give you a good case in point. That incident that happened this weekend. Okay, the incident that happened this weekend it was posted on social media about the shooting, and I know it went viral. Everybody was sending it. That was fake. Okay, that happened, but it didn't happen in Pensacola. Okay, the city police department, because they're still looking for these individuals that's involved, but they had to verify that information that was on social media, and so it turned out that social media account, that little clip that they had on social media, did not happen in Pensacola. Okay, so then, but I'm sure with all of the cell phone cameras and all of the surveillance and everything, there are going to be video footage of that incident. Anybody have any information to it, you just need to make sure that you get it to the police department. Anyhow, let me move on for that. Because I got this story posted up here. In the news story, this is more of a national news story, where the Supreme Court last week kind of supported birthright citizenship, and they've done a survey about what do you think about it. I don't care what you think about it. The Constitution says that if you're born in America, you are an American. Okay, and so you got to move. You got that MAGA movement now. Don't want people that born in the United States to be citizens of the United States. Okay, if their parents does not happen to be citizens, but this has been a long-standing tradition that we have in this country. Is inscribed into our Constitution, and so regardless how MAGA world feels about it, regardless how Trump feels about it, it is what it is. And all babies born in this country are automatically United States citizens. Okay. All right, y'all, let's move on to another story. And this is what you're going to have to start preparing for now. Okay. We know June is the beginning of hurricane season. Okay. And I must tell you now, we dodged the bullet last year for the first time in a long time. We didn't have any activity, to my knowledge. We didn't have any activity last year until the hurricane. But you know, how long can our luck last? I want you to think about that. Okay, we hadn't had a major hurricane in Pensacola since 2004. We had another. You know, Ivan came in 2004 and wrecked the place. And then I think in 2005, we had another minor, what I call it, compared to Ivan, there was another minor hurricane came through and stuff like that. But we have been really, really lucky. But how long can our luck last? I'm asking you and telling you that go ahead and start preparing now, in the event that a hurricane do come by, okay? It won't hurt you to prepare. Okay, check that generator, start it up right now. I know some of you hadn't used it since 2004, whatever you need to do it for, but you need to change the spark plugs, get rusty in them. If you're still using that old generator, or don't go out and buy you a generator. And now they use propane gas, and they got electric generators and all the other kind of stuff nowadays. So and then they got whole home generators. So you might want to check on that. Get you a supply of food. Prepare to be. They're saying at least 7 days. It used to be 3 days. Now they're saying prepare for 7 days. Okay. Also, if you're going to get a generator, buy you right now. Get you a little small 5,000 watt air conditioner as well, because most generators can run a little $5,000 air conditioner. It get hot sometimes. You get hot sometime when your power is off, in the summertime and that kind of stuff. So you might want to get a little get you a little 5K AC and store it somewhere with all your hurricane equipment. Just have you in the hurricane area there. Just small radio, stuff like that. I got a tip line. I got a commercial that talking about the tips on what the tips that you can use to put in hurricanes. So we're going to be talking about that as we go along. Okay. Santa Rosa, and I said all to say that the folks in the city of Foley over there, they're going to host what they call a Hurricane Preparedness Expo. So that's on July the 14th. So you might want to go over there, but I'm sure we're going to also be doing stuff here as well. Okay. All right, let's move on to another story. Over in Baldwin County, a woman was killed and seriously injured in a stabbing over there in Baldwin County. So you need to read about that story as well. A 37-year-old woman was killed, and a 46-year-old man was seriously injured in a stabbing Sunday night when a male juvenile been charged with the murder and the attempted murder of those two individuals. It's happened over in Santa Rosa County. Okay. Let's move on to another story before I can get Miss Shakita on this morning. An Alabama man, y'all, also was charged with attempted murder after a welfare check at an Atmore hotel. Okay. I tell you, Atmore becoming real popular recently. I tell you that. Become real popular when it comes to crime. But anyway, a welfare check was that led police to a motel up in Atmore where they arrested a 53-year-old man. And now he's charged with attempted murder. His name is Robert Heath Walker. And they're still investigating what happened there. I think this happened probably either Thursday night or Friday morning when the officials was called to a hotel there right outside, right not too far from I-65 there on the Hampton Inn there in Atmore, and they add to that. Okay. Alrighty. All right, moving on to a different story here. 40-year-old man was arrested after a truck linked the Crestview burglar. He returned the property. I tell you, every day I tell you I have to tell my stories and then I have to tell stupid stories. And but this 40-year-old man, he was arrested. He was arrested after his truck linked into a burglary over in Okaloosa County. He ended up being arrested after somebody recognized the truck that he believed that he was driving. Folks, I keep telling you, with cameras and nosy neighbors and Karens and all these other kinds of folks, how do you expect to get away with anything? 40-year-old Andrew Robinson was arrested for stolen properties. They recovered some $1,800 worth of stolen property that he had on his possession, and also he had possession of some fentanyl and stuff like that as well. So let me move on to a different story. This is national stuff here, and I'm not gonna spend too much time on this national stuff because my Trump derangement syndrome started kicking in. All right, but the GOP efforts to keep the Senate majority is weakened by the Alaskan, what they call an Alaskan challenge here. So that's on one hand. Okay. On the other hand, I got another story that might be weakening the Alaska for the Republicans, but the other side of the story, it is weakening for. I'm trying to find this other story about this other man, this Democrat. I think it's this Democrat right here. The same thing happening on the Democrat side because Graham Platinum is the Democratic senator that they was trying to elect, and he is running some issues as well. Another woman that come out and accused him of this, but I'm kind of split on this. Now he look, he kind of looked like a Proud Boy to me. That's just my opinion now. Okay, he kind of looked like a Proud Boy, and I don't want. Well, what actually happened to politician that looks clean and fresh and all that? Now this guy, he got a lot of baggage. I have to be honest. He's a candidate for the Democratic Party, and he's a Democratic hopeful to overturn Susan Collins that live up in that wherever that state. You know how she talking like that. But anyhow, they thinking that he had a good shot of the Democrat had a good shot of getting that Senate seat and defeating Susan Collins, but he comes with a lot of baggage. Number one, he had some swaps in this, some kind of swaps Nickers tattoo on his German tattoo on his chest that he said he know what it was. Yeah, right. He looked like a Proud Boy to me. Yeah, right. Now he got a lot of issue. Number one, he got issue with drinking. Just yesterday, another woman, he had a lot of issue with sexual assault. Another woman came out yesterday alleging him coming in her house drunk and forcing her into sex and so forth. And that's happened a while back. I don't understand why she didn't call, if it was rape, why didn't she call the police at the time, 5 or 6 years ago, or 10 years ago when it happened? But now she's bringing it up right now. And so he has issues. He has a lot of issues, y'all. And he has a lot of issues that gonna have to be overcome. Okay. And so keep your eyes out on that crazy, on these crazy stories. And speaking of crazy, look at here. This boy here, something wrong with him. He going to Turkey on his NATO summit, and but he has some serious issues on his own right here. So and the question I have with this person here, all the issues that he has going right now, I don't understand. I think this man here set the tone for bad behavior in the White House. He has 34 convictions of something similar to the same thing that they charging this guy with. And so my position is, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Okay, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So I'm conflicted. We need that seat to get this country back. I don't know whether it's the right guy to do it with or not. All right, we're gonna have to hurry up and get out of here. We're gonna have to get Miss Shakita on here. But anyway, I want to move to just a different story that just happened to be here in Pensacola. That a lady that suffered from breast cancer, she's a breast cancer patient, and she's going to get a $5 supplement from the healthcare system on that. I ain't got time to get into all the story. But I do want to mention this. We had on our sports report this morning about the this boy here put his finger on the scale because they decided that they was going to they decided that they're going to do a suspended one of the, what's his name? I can't call his name. I can't pronounce his name. Bologun. They gave him a red card, a red flag, or something like that. And then Trump called up his buddy and however you feel about it. But anyway, the big game, Shakita, hang in there, baby. But the big game was last night, and I understand that the USA still lost on 1-4 picked against Belgium last night. So, and you had me looking at the damn game. Okay, and I don't look at nobody's sport, but with that, I did get a chance to look at that as well. All right, folks, I tell you, I got to get to Miss Shakita. I got to get to Miss Shakita Payne this morning because she has to go to work, and we got to talk about some jobs and jobs and jobs. Okay, so let's go over to Miss Shakita Payne.
Good morning. It's 7:30 on Tuesday, and this is WBQP TV. Our top story today: a major announcement regarding jobs from the ECUA. And welcome to Job Opportunities with Chiquita Payne. Join us every Tuesday morning at 7:30 for the latest openings, only on WBQP TV.
Hi, I am Chiquita Payne, and here are the job openings for today for ECUA.
Hey, Miss Shakita Payne, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you doing this morning?
Miss Shakita, I am doing fine this morning. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
You're doing wonderful.
Really good.
All right. What's happening on the job scene at ECUA this morning?
Sure. Well, we have quite a few jobs. I know I talked about one last week. So I'm going to talk about that one again, and it is the MRF maintenance technician position. So this is one of the positions that the person will be. They will be working in our recycling facility. Having a high school diploma is all that you need. At least 2 years of experience as a mechanic's helper or something in a similar role. So it's not saying that you have to come in with all of this experience because they are going to train you. And what you're doing is you're working on the equipment at our recycling facility, making sure that everything is staying up to par, staying clean, making sure that everything runs smoothly so all of our recycling recycling program will, run smoothly. This position, it is an entry-level position, so it does start at $18.63 an hour. But again, they are teaching you and training you on how to fix the equipment. And of course, once you have that down packed, you can go in other positions within the company. You can go from MRF maintenance tech to a mechanical craft worker, which will then lead you towards the path of an industrial plant mechanic, working on some of the bigger equipment at our recycling facility as well as our water reclamation facilities. You can go to be a fleet mechanic if you like working on vehicles. We definitely need fleet mechanics. Lift station mechanics, they work on the lift stations throughout the county. So a lot of different opportunities that this one position can lead you in several different directions within ECUA. The only thing that you would need to do is put in your application, and you will do that by going to our website, which is www.ecua.fl.gov. Click on careers, then current opportunities, and you'll see this position as well as a few others we have open right now. That's right. Mhm. Exactly. Me too. But right, exactly. But the jobs will always be there. I think a lot of times people have to understand these are manual labor jobs. You're going to be out there in the elements of the weather, the heat, the rain, the cold, what have you. That's a part of the job. That's a part of ECUA because we work Mostly our employees are working outside. So you have to be comfortable with that, number one, but also knowing that this can be a career for you. It's not just a job that you're, just coming to, hopping around from place to place because you don't like this, you don't like that. If you stick it out, you will definitely be able to advance in several different ways and different opportunities. One thing, I know one of our departments, when we do have positions available in our water department, one of the supervisors always tell people that this is one of those jobs where you may not get rich, of course, coming to work every day, but you will have that opportunity to take care of your family. You'll have a great income coming in. You'll have different certifications that are required by the state. If you don't have those certifications, you cannot do the job. So they're going to help you get any certifications that you need. We even help people get their CDL license for certain jobs that have that requirement of driving a CDL truck. Once you've been with us for a full year, we'll send you to school and we'll pay for that. So there's several opportunities available at ECUA. It's just a matter of just sticking it out. Sometimes we may not know which way we want to go. If it's something that you're interested in, try it out to see if you like it. You never know where that path is going to take you. Right. Hmm. Right. Yes. That's right. Hmm. Right. That's right. Exactly. And when you think about it, I mean, all the different jobs that we have here at ECUA, you have that opportunity to do just that. I tell people often, if it's, maybe wanting to work in the water department or wastewater department, having those state licenses, if you decided you wanted to leave Pensacola, you have an opportunity to pick up a job somewhere else because you have those licenses that are required for certain jobs. That's telling them that you have that experience, you have that knowledge. So coming on with ECUA, honestly, you cannot beat it. We have great opportunities, we have great benefits for our employees. We also have tuition reimbursement, so if there's someone that's interested in going back to school, we will help you pay for that as well. So we definitely put back into our employees because we love our employees and we want to see them stick around. So we're going to do everything that we can to help them out. So even if you are a utility service tech right now, you want to become a project engineer, we will help you pay to go to school for that. For one, that's going to help ECUA as well as helping you. You're getting the experience of working at ECUA, learning about the different projects that we have. When you're out as a utility service tech, seeing the project engineers come out working with the contractors. So you already have like a bit of an insight. It's just a matter of just thinking about what it is that you're interested in, what you want to do. Come talk to me, come talk to Edric. We are also employee relations here at ECUA, so we talk with our employees about their career path, job counseling, things of that nature. So we want to see people get better with whatever they're looking to do, expand their career path, what have you. That's what we're here for. So I always can tell people, take a look at ECUA. We're always here. That's the one good thing. We are never going anywhere because people need water. They want their trash picked up. So you will always have a job here at ECUA. But just to give us a chance. He's feeling a little bit under the weather this morning, so he's not in today. Mhm. Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Sure, the lowest paying position that we have on our website right now, which would be our trainee positions, and they're all pretty much starting at 1863 an hour. So you think about it, it's not that bad because you have that opportunity to advance. You have that opportunity to have a career path in all of those positions. Just for an example, we just recently had an employee who was a MRF maintenance tech, and he was able to advance to the mechanical craft worker. That path is leading him to become an industrial plant mechanic. So he'll be working on larger equipment throughout his career at ECUA, and he's already gotten there to an extent. He is because for one, he came in with not much experience at all, but he started somewhere, and from there he's just flourishing. And it's great to see an employee doing that because you see where you started and now you're looking at that path that you're taking, where you're going, and he's doing such a great job. So again, I just encourage people to just take a chance, even if though it's a trainee position. They do start at 1863. That is kind of low, but it is a really good salary to kind of get you started somewhere with no experience. Yes. Right, exactly. I think it's about 14, and September 1 is going to go up to 15, and then that's the cap. Mhm. Almost 19 an hour. Exactly. It does. Hmm. Right. Not at all. Right. Exactly. Hmm. Right. Not to mention having the benefits to support yourself and your family, having a retirement plan that you can work towards because are a part of the Florida retirement. So our employees are only putting in 3% to their retirement, and ECUA makes a contribution as well. So just thinking that you're starting out young with your retirement. If you stick with ECUA, when you're ready to retire, you'll have a nice little bit of change sitting there. Yes. Yeah. Mhm.
You know what? My mic has been off. I wanted to have been off that whole time. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I tell you the truth. I don't know. But anyway, the beauty of that. What did I lost my point? You help me out.
Yeah,
But
working with double overtime with
yeah,
companies such as ECUA, we do offer double time and a half for those when it comes down to the holidays. If you're having to work on that holiday, you're getting paid double time and a half. That's that premium holiday pay for you. So, in addition to getting the holiday pay, and plus working, we're going to give you time and a half for that, for working on that holiday. several of our employees have that opportunity, and they definitely take advantage of it because that's a nice little extra bit of change in your paycheck. Of course, some of our positions, we also have a safety incentive. So if you're accident injury free for a year, certain amount of time, you're eligible to earn up to $3,400 additional dollars. That's in addition to your paycheck. Just because you're staying accident free, you're paying attention to our policies and procedures, you're following the rules. And a lot of those positions that we have on the website today do fall into that safety incentive category. So you several opportunities to earn money, several opportunities to advance in your career, to learn more skills, to go back to school for education, great benefits, great retirement plan. Honestly, you just cannot beat it with ECUA. So again, to look at the positions we have open, go to our website, which is www.ecua.fl.gov. You will click on careers, then current opportunities, and you'll see all those positions that we just spoke about.
Absolutely. Shakita, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you for coming on every Tuesday and letting these folks know about these jobs. And I want to thank the folks for letting me know that my mic is off. I had to, when you came on, I had the phone was ringing and I had to answer the phone and I forgot to turn my mic back on.
Oh,
but when you get old, you like me, memory's the second thing to go, Shakita. Yep, the second thing to go. And some folks say, well, what's the first thing to go? I don't know. I can't even remember. That's how bad my memory is, but we'll see you on next Tuesday, Sugar.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, y'all. All right, y'all. All right. That is Miss Shakita Payne, y'all, with ECUA. Seriously, y'all. I talk a lot of stuff, but we try to get you some jobs available. Not only a job, okay? We're not just looking for a job. We need a job we need a career. You got jobs and you got careers. You got jobs and you got careers. And so therefore, you deserve a career. You just don't need just a job. Okay. And so y'all let everybody know that these jobs are available. Okay. All right, let's move on. We should be joined by Mr. Jerry McIntosh in just a few minutes if the creek doesn't rise. If he like me, he probably have to go to a doctor's appointment sometime every day. And after that, we definitely will be getting an update from the city. We're going to be talking to Mayor D.C. Reeves or either his trusted advisor, my main man, Mr. Cliff Collins. Cliff comes on, and I like Cliff when Cliff comes on. The mayor gets down to the business of the city, but when Cliff finished all the business of the city, he kind of helped join in the conversation, and he certainly has a lot to contribute, a lot to offer. We have to give him a job around here if he can work for no pay. 8:30, y'all. We're going to be talking to Mrs. Dottie Joseph, y'all. This is a black woman, y'all. A black woman running for president. You might want to hear what she got to say about what's going on and the reasons that she's is running for governor, for the governor of Florida. Y'all. Before we go to a commercial break, y'all, you know, I want to make sure that everybody's kind of motivated. You know, motivate yourself. Just don't just sit around and not do anything. My goal is to help you reach your full potential, to help you self-actualize, if you will. So make yourself count, make your day count, make your lives count. And so I want to throw in a little motivational piece here that might help us. Okay? Let's listen to this, if you will.
The greats think differently. The greats see differently, right? The greats have a different worldview. The greats, they approach the game in a totally different way. So I need you to do me a huge favor. I need you to think about what you're thinking about when your effort is low. Because if you can get this, you can get any success you want in life. You can have anything you want in life if you can get this. The next time you give a low effort, right? You give it 70% or 50% or 30%. I want you to think about what you're thinking about when your effort is low. If your effort is low, you're probably not thinking about the opportunity. You're probably thinking about the obligation. And when you think about E.T., how you stay pumped up? E.T.'s how you stay on fire. E.T., how you always driven, even in the midst of trials and tribulations, even in the midst of your haters, when people try to break you and tear you down. E.T., how you stay strong. I keep thinking about the opportunity. Every single day, I'm thinking about the opportunity, and I'm not looking at this thing as an obligation. I'm not looking at this thing as something that I have to do, or that I'm forced to do, right? Something that somebody's making me do. Every time I wake up, I'm thinking, I'm alive, baby. This is the day. This is an opportunity. If you want what you've never had before, if you want to do what you've never done before, if you want to be what you've never been before, change your mentality. And I want you to see that effort goes up when you look at it as, I got an opportunity of a lifetime. But you should be excited about the fact that you have an opportunity.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
Navigating heart care can be challenging. Baptist makes it better with the latest treatments and innovations and the area's largest, most experienced heart team ready to create a care plan just for you. All when you need us most. Let Baptist make it better. Baptist Healthcare.
I remember these. Will I have the money to send my kid to college? Well, that's specific. How long has that been there? 7-letter word for a bank that helps you reach your goals.
Synovus. Order for Synovus?
Thank you.
Are you Synovus?
Yes.
Are you gonna ask or should I?
A solid financial future doesn't happen by chance. Let's talk about your potential today.
For 75 years, Baptist has brought innovative care to our community. Through our Andrews Institute, we continue the legacy by providing advanced total joint care, restoring mobility, strength, and quality of life. Baptist Healthcare, here for you then, now, and always.
Vernon, it's Tuesday Sugar. Time to play Lotto to check last night's tickets. We gotta win, baby. Love you.
Vernon, it's Monday. Did you check your lottery tickets? If not, check it out.
It's Monday. I am sorry we didn't win the lotto. Don't tell Mary, but I still love you. Try the casino.
Why wait? With Penn Air's fast approvals and low rates, getting a car loan is easier than ever. Penn Air Credit Union. Join us.
Choosing the right school is one of the most important decisions you'll make for your child. At Jacqueline Harris Preparatory Academy, we provide a safe, supporting environment where students grow academically and personally. With strong core instruction and unique programs, students gain confidence, creativity, and real-world skills. At JHPA, we live by our motto, enter to learn, depart to serve. Enroll today and prepare your child to soar.
I'm Dr. Isaac Williams, and I'm running for School Board District 3. Our community is asking for change, and I agree. District 3 deserves change. District 3 deserves a representative who will listen, communicate, and stay connected to the community. Our students need every opportunity to succeed. Our teachers need support, and our community and parents need a voice. I've spent my time as a servant leader in the Marine Corps, as a pastor, as a community activist, and I'm prepared now to serve District 3 on day one. And I will be honored to earn your support and your vote on August 18th. God bless you. God keep you.
Keep growing.
Remember where you came from. It's the foundation of who you are.
Show up for others.
That's been our approach at Penn Air for 90 years. Penn Air Credit Union, 90 years strong.
Hello, I'm David Williams, District 3 Representative, seeking re-election to the Escambia County School Board. 4 years ago, I said, together we can make a difference. Today, I'm proud to say, together we have made a difference, thanks to your trust. And because of you, we do not have any failing schools. Our schools are safer. We've closed the achievement gap, and our students are college and career ready. I'm asking for your support again to re-elect me so that we continue the work that we started 4 years ago. Please visit my website at davidwilliams3.com to learn more about my initiatives I have accomplished and the ones I will pursue over the next 4 years. Early voting is August 8th through the 15th, and the primary is August 18th. Your vote is essential to keeping our community moving forward. Thank you.
This is Prayer Perspectives by J.O. Gatson on your WBQP.
Hi, this is J.O. Gatson of Emmaus Baptist Church, Pensacola, Florida, and we come to you on this beautiful Tuesday that the Lord has given us. As a matter of fact, it's our Testimony Tuesday, and we've come to bless His name in sacred words of prayer. Let us pray. Father God, we come that we may testify on this Testimony Tuesday of your goodness in spite of our difficulties, our situations, our circumstances, in spite of what's ahead of us, as Mama would say. We've come to testify of your goodness and to say thank you. And so, Lord, this is our premise this morning. That is to bless you on this Tuesday, dear God, and to seek you out for the blessings of life. As we pray now in the belovedness of Jesus the Christ, our Lord, our Savior, our God, the master of the seed, our disparity. Amen.
WBQP salutes the spirit of America, celebrating 250 years of freedom. Happy birthday, USA!
WBQP goals are to inform, to inspire, to educate, and to entertain. The station that cares.
Hi, Vernon. Here's your WBQP weekly weather forecast. We're in for another hot and humid week across the Gulf Coast. On Tuesday, skies will be partly cloudy with a 60% chance of a passing shower. Afternoon temperatures climb to 90 degrees with lows around 77. Wednesday stays hot with partly cloudy skies and a 40% chance of rain. Look for a high of 92 degrees with a low of 79. Thursday continues the summer pattern with a high of 93 degrees, a low of 80, and another 40% chance of scattered showers. And we wrap up the week on Friday with highs near 92 degrees, overnight lows around 80, and a 40% chance of rain. Overall, expect hot afternoons, warm nights, and daily opportunities for passing showers. This is Cheryl Mulrain, and that's your weekly weather forecast on WBQP TV.
The voice of the Black community. Your information station.
Station that cares.
WBQP TV and radio. The station that cares.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's a beautiful day out there, and let's get you caught up on everything.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now, let's go. Get up now, turn it up now. 1, 2, 3, let's get it out.
All right, y'all, it's 8 o'clock, and we know every Tuesday we have a City of Pensacola update with our Mayor D.C. Reeves. And good morning, Mayor. How are you this morning? I'm not, your mic is
there you are.
okay,
good.
Yeah, your mic is on.
How you doing?
Doing good. You know what? I had planned to talk to you this morning about a little more upbeat subject. We can still do that, if you will. I was going to talk to you about the 311 information system that y'all got going.
Yeah.
And but it got kind of dampened with this crazy shooting this weekend. And
Yep.
I know you probably want to address that as well. And I want you to reassure people probably it's still safe to come downtown.
Sure.
You know, we always have a little hiccup every once in a while. And, you know, Mike comes on every Monday, Mayor, and we've been talking about for the last 4 or 5 months how we didn't have much to report on the crime scene. Just overnight, you know, that all changed. But I want to turn it over to you.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for the opportunity. First, I'm just so appreciative of our police department, our police chief. You know, you'll never hear it from him, but, you know, our police chief worked 4th of July, which I don't recall around here very often to have the police chief out doing traffic and things like that. And yeah, and our chief makes a point to do that to certainly earn the respect of his officers, and that means one more officer could be at home with their family on 4th of July while he's working. And I believe his shift started at noon and he went home at 9 a.m. the next day. So a 21-hour shift. And Chief Winstrom wasn't the only one. There were detectives, captains, and others that went into work on the 4th of July, starting their shift at noon or 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, getting ready for a 4th of July, and worked through the night and into the morning to to attempt to solve and get all the details of what took place around 1:15 in the morning, Sunday morning, Saturday night. So first, I just have such gratitude for our police department, and I think every citizen should know that while we're sleeping, while we're maybe reading a headline and going about our day, you've got a really dedicated police department that I have the utmost confidence in that will solve this issue, will find the perpetrators and bring them to justice. And I want to underscore that the reason that it's safe to go downtown and the reason that it's pretty rare inside the city limits to have anything like this happen is because no matter how bad of an actor you are, or if you have bad intentions, most of those people with bad intentions choose somewhere else for this kind of nonsense because they know that we will find them and that we know that we will bring them to justice. So that will happen here again, and we will find who did this, who has not only taken the life of a 19-year-old in our community, but they've taken a little bit away from all of us. For the exact question that you just mentioned, is now do we have to even be having to second guess in Pensacola, Florida, whether something is safe to do or not to do. So I can absolutely reassure our citizens that Pensacola is extremely safe. I was downtown at a restaurant watching the soccer game, a couple different places, walking around downtown personally last night. It is fully safe to go back downtown. If you did miss the news clip and the press conference from yesterday, we believe that of the seven people that were hit with shots, 6 of them knew each other, had a past history with each other. So this was not a situation that I think a lot of people early on Sunday morning speculated that this would be a shooting event, that someone just came down and opened fire randomly. That was not the case. This was folks that had past run-ins, past associations with each other. And so when it's that doesn't make the loss of a 19-year-old in our community certainly any better. But from a citywide safety standpoint, this incident, sadly and tragically, was involving familiar acquaintances than it was that it was a random attack that might make you on your heels or concerned, about going downtown. So, bottom line is, downtown is in our city will remain extremely safe. There is nothing shut down. There's nowhere you can't go or not go. And all I can tell you is we've got a tireless effort happening in our police department right now, as I'm sitting on this show with you, that will continue until we bring the person or persons that are responsible for this to justice.
Wow. Mayor, is a question that people are asking, I think, do we have a gang problem in Pensacola, you think?
I mean, it's obviously that's probably a better question for Mike or the chief that live and breathe law enforcement each and every day, and they can give you probably a better finger on the pulse. Here's what I would say. I would echo what the chief said yesterday in the sense that there might be some ties to that type of activity with this group, but it's a stretch to even say that this was some official gang activity or something like that. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what type of violence it was violence in our city.
Yeah. And that's unacceptable violence.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And gang related, not gang related, all of that violence in our city is not going to be tolerated. And I've got to thank our citizens as well. Our citizens that are stepping up, our businesses, and help getting our police department surveillance footage. It's kind of interesting. Surveillance footage sometimes gets controversial in these in cities when things are going okay. And one complaint I haven't heard the last 48 hours is, man, what about cameras that are around downtown? I haven't heard nobody's emailed me about that. I think everybody, when it's time to have public safety be number one, which is what it should be all the time, then we have people stepping up, providing footage, providing camera footage, cell phone, all those different things. We've had so many people step up and try to give us as much information as we can to make sure that we resolve this case. So, we can't tolerate, and I've said this since I've been mayor, the number one issue for me always will be keeping people safe and them feeling safe where they sleep. So that doesn't change after a tragic incident like this, and it just means we step up and get our job done. And we've got an awesome team of detectives and investigators that are on this right now that have been on it since day one. So again, I'm extremely confident that this will be solved. I'm extremely confident that every citizen in Pensacola, Florida, can feel that they can go to sleep and their children can go to sleep safely. That being said, there obviously has been some conversation. I've met and talked with lots of community leaders, a lot of community leaders in the Black community. And of course, there's been this kind of next conversation. We're focused on the task at hand right now, but secondarily about the conversation about a curfew. And I want to be clear, we're really talking about two things. The victim who lost his life was 19 years old. It is not clear at this point that any suspects or any involvement was that a guarantee that it was of a certain age or a young age. And so I only make that point to say, I think some people are rushing to judgment to say, well, if there's a curfew, things like this may or may not happen. That's unpredictable. But we're having two conversations about what took place overnight on 4th of July. One is this tragic incident, and that's what we're solving right now. Two is previous to this tragic incident, and Chief Winster mentioned this in his first press conference on Sunday morning. We had people that our police identified. Remember, we had 50 extra officers downtown, 50 extra officers downtown. And there were hundreds of people gathering at Plaza Ferdinand close by. I think they estimated about 20 fights that had to be broken up. And all of that to say, our police were seeing people at ages 11, 12, I think they even said 10 years old, without any adult supervision, out in the middle of the night, ultimately downtown. And so it's not to say that a curfew could have prevented the major incident that has us having this conversation. Maybe not, but there's a second conversation that we need to be having in the community about, do our 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-year-olds need to be out past midnight on the weekends with no parental supervision? That's why so many cities have gone to a curfew. Frankly, I think the city of Pensacola just we haven't needed to do that. We haven't had a busy downtown until in recent years. We haven't, but I think that's a very real conversation that we need to have, because Vernon, the old saying, nothing good happens after midnight. You get a phone call or something like that. And certainly when you start talking about minors, again, 13, 14, 15 years old, that's a real conversation that we need to have moving forward. That gives our law enforcement the ability not to arrest. Even it's just the idea of saying we're able to take these children home and get them where they need to be, not out unsupervised, walking the streets past midnight.
Well, Mayor, sometimes I think we need to probably going to have to get the parents engaged too, because you're talking about a 14-year-old child being out after midnight, hanging outside of a bar, basically, in downtown. That is something not right with that picture, Mayor.
That's right, and that's what I think makes the situation so difficult. Is that's the best preventative way to solve that issue. Absolutely starts at home, right? Where is your 13, 14-year-old child, past midnight? Obviously we understand that not everybody comes from a two-parent household, or, you could have parents working multiple jobs overnight. And I'm a parent. Parenting isn't easy. And so I don't take that for granted. That being said, at some point there is that responsibility, not just to a child, but to your neighbors, to your fellow citizens, to say, hey, having, again, I can't think of anything as the mayor of the city that's good that comes of 11, 12, 13-year-olds being unaccompanied by an adult out past midnight. I can't. I haven't come up with one yet of how that could be a good thing for our city or for that child. As a matter of fact, so that's why it's time to really have a conversation about it. There's some state statute on the books that so it's not overly difficult to do. We've already had conversations yesterday about it, and I want to make sure that it's something that works. And one of the big conversations we're having is, all right, well, what's the enforcement, right? I don't think the goal is that you want to put handcuffs on a bunch of 11, 12, 13-year-old kids, but it would be nice for our law enforcement and code enforcement and otherwise to be able to have the capability that when they see a 12-year-old out past midnight and they don't know where a supervising adult is, that they have the ability to contact parents, get them home, those types of things. And, yes, Vernon, to your point, even having to reach the point where our police are having to do that is a strain on our resources, strain on our taxpayer dollars, all of that. But right now, without this ordinance, we don't even have that capability. And that's what you saw Saturday night was, hey, it's people being in the park. They're allowed to do that, or around the park, and we don't have the teeth to be able to be able enforce some of that with those unsupervised minors. So anyway, that's we're focused on bringing criminals to justice right now, but at the same time, we're having this conversation moving forward about, and you're seeing all this now, all on. Listen, Vernon, when I was a kid, I'm not going to lie to you. When I was 15 and 16 years old, I might have been out at past midnight, but I might have been at a friend's house, or I might have been in the woods somewhere. I didn't have a way to get on my cell phone like this and call 500 of my friends on TikTok, or get them connected. The game has changed in the sense of these team takeover things, and I'm not saying that that's what happened on Saturday, but our world has changed a lot since I was 14 and 15, 16 years old, and your ability to connect with people for good, and your ability to connect with people for things that aren't so good. And so it's our job as city government. We got to get with the times, and we got to stay modern and on the cutting edge to make sure that we're keeping our people safe.
Mayor, you kind of harken my memory back. When I was growing up, I was a country boy, but I hear my city friends says that when they were growing up, the parents would say, when that street light comes on, you better be in the house. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now in the country, when the rule was when it get dark, you be in the house. And then they used to run an old ad. I don't know whether you remember this ad or not, Mayor. I don't know whether you remember this ad or not, but it used to say, it's midnight. Do you know where your children are? Okay. Mm-hmm. And I think they'll revitalize that. It's something that we probably need to think about. I got Ellison Bennett on the phone, Mayor. I think you got a question. Ellison?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Ellison.
You got a question, Ellison?
Yeah.
I can barely hear you.
Okay, let's keep in mind this. At a high school football game, a couple years ago, we had shooters there. Over on W Street, doing a Little League football game, 11 o'clock in the morning, a guy was killed in front of a concession stand. This violence must stop, and the parents must be held accountable. These parents know who the shooters are, or either their friends know who they are, and they need to step up.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Ellison. And listen, I appreciate your advocacy. I don't care what street you live on, who you are, what color your skin is. Here's what I know is nobody wants people, one, out shooting other people, and two, out shooting other people and not bringing them to justice. So I can echo that, and I appreciate your advocacy of, like you said, a lot of times these things are solved the quickest with people who are there, right on at the street, at the scene, and all of that, and the people that have the courage to step up and say, "Hey, this isn't right," and that we want to make sure that people who do wrong things get the punishment they deserve. So I certainly appreciate your advocacy on that.
Okay, the 6 individuals that survived this shooting. How are they there? Are they still hospital? What's the status, if you will?
The only status update I know we can give in terms of those 6, all of them all survive non-life threatening injuries. So there isn't going to be another death or something. No one's in critical condition, something like that at the hospital. And so we have 1 deceased, and then the 6 that were injured. But I don't have a status on, if they've been released, what each individual one is, but there won't be another death. It won't go to 2.
Well, that's great. That's good.
After this, those 6 injured will all survive and either are in treatment or have been, or have already left at the hospital.
Yeah. Let's move. Let's change gear for a minute, Mayor. I know you gave me more time than we usually have, but if you got a minute here, I was prepared. I was prepared to come on to talk about your new employee y'all hired recently.
Yeah.
Called, I think was it Penny.
Penny, yeah.
Penny, y'all hired Penny.
That's right.
Talk to us about Penny.
Well, this is the world of, we were talking about this in a tragic situation and also in an everyday situation. It's our job as city government to look at every tool that we have in the toolbox to provide you the best service that we can. It's your money, your taxpayers, and we want to provide you the best service. So with the technology advancements now, if you think about it previously with 311, or with any call center, I mean, if you call AT&T or you call Cox Cable or, and you need to talk to a human being on the phone, you think about that. What happens after 5 o'clock? Are you open 24 hours? What happens if someone calls about a water leak or something like that, or something in the street at 11 o'clock at night when they're driving home from their night shift? And so in previous years, we would have a national call center somewhere where it's not somebody even in Pensacola. They would kind of take it down and we'd come deal with it in the morning. Now with the AI technology, we not only can we help dispatch and resolve issues really at all times, it's just going to speed up our ability that when you do call 311, that we can resolve your issue for you. And so we're just leaning on technology to be able to do that. So you can go on our website and you can say, what's my trash day? Well, you can type it right in, and Penny's going to tell you with your address what your trash day is. You don't have to sit on the phone. You don't have to wait on hold. You don't have to. So, I mean, it is truly all the information of the city at your fingertips. And again, you don't have to call the phone at all. You can go on cityofpensacola.com, talk to Penny right there, and say, hey, what's the name of that park that's over here or over there? Almost like a Google search, or using AI on your phone. You're going to be able to get any information that you need from the city of Pensacola instantly in most cases. And we're able to handle and take calls off hours and provide you information faster than we would in previous years.
And I want to emphasize this, Mayor, that people are always afraid of AI, and they say, AI going to take your job away. I understand you had 2 employees that was already assigned there. They still there. Penny's just there to help, to assist when they're not available, right?
That's right. And what we're seeing with AI developments and people, say, oh, well, what does that mean for, people with jobs? I mean, listen, the same way the internet changed our world and how things kind of pivoted, AI, I mean, no doubt about it. AI is going to pivot our workforce. I'm talking about as a country, as a world, as a planet. It's going to pivot our workforce. But what you're really seeing most times is most of the valuable tasks at the city government level that AI can help with. What it really does is it takes paperwork and things that used to take 3 hours now can take 10 seconds. So what does that mean? That means we got a quality employee able to work on more complex issues, meet with people, all that, and not be stuck behind a stack of paperwork where you can't see their head. Dealing with logistical issues that they've got to plug in manually. That, in my mind, is where AI is really stepping up. It's not that it can always take the place of a person. It's that now that person can use their intuition, their creativity, and have more hours during the week or more hours in the workday to work on more complex things than just plugging in paperwork and all of those monotonous things that used to take up maybe 3 or 4 hours of your day. So they call it human in the loop. And what that means is that when AI comes in and you have AI technology advancements, you still need a human in the loop. They got to make sure it's accurate. Sometimes you got to get somebody on the phone. AI isn't going to solve everything for us, but it's certainly going to take a lot of that paperwork, a lot of those logistical hours and hours of things that might eat up your time. Now your city employees could be more focused on bigger things and more important things, and let technology help solve those other issues.
Let me ask this question then, because I know it's city information, but if someone in the county were to call 311, is it expanded to the county or only just for the city limits?
That's a good question. With what I always say is, with our city limits are so funky, it looks like a puzzle, and if you live, I'm over on the west side of town. If you live up near the old Baptist campus, it feels like you drive down one road, you're in the city, then you're out of the city, then you're back in the city again on the same street. So, I'm not sure I'm guessing that's based on the call-up provider, that if they think you're in the city limits or not. I'm not aware of if county's got a 311 system. But where your question's most pertinent is like when you call 911, for example.
Right,
well,
exactly.
Yeah, it typically does the best job it can to find you, but if you're kind of on that line, you might get dispatched when you call 911 to the county, and then they quickly dispatch it over to the city. So, I'm not sure. We ought to test it sometime. We ought to go drive across the street from the city and call 311 and see. But hey, listen, if you're unsure, that's what the resource is there for. Call 311, even if you're across the street from the city, and it puts the onus on us. We may have to write you back and say, sorry, that road is a county road. It's not a city road, but if you're unsure, that's what it's there for. So don't hesitate to call 311. It's the best tool that our citizens have to solve those everyday issues when they don't know what to do or who to call.
Now, let me ask you a question, Mayor. And I know, unlike 911, I won't get penalized. If I call 311, what would it tell me? Now, can I call 311? Can we do it? Can we do it live? See what happens?
Well, I got a couple things to tend to while you call 311, but
I'm just curious about it. That's all.
Yeah, sure. No, so typically, during normal hours, you'll get a human being. You might get a prompt, but you'll get a human being that comes on, and you'll say, "Hey, I got a pothole on W Street," and or A Street, and you can say, "Okay, yeah, where is it?" All of that, and then we put a ticket in, and we get your information. And then why we get your information, you would say, well, hey, why do you need my information if I'm just telling you about a pothole? Well, because we want to be able to come back to you and say, hey, we solved it, or hey, we can't solve it. But 311 is so valuable because as I always tell folks at town halls and Rotary clubs, is that puts the onus on us to respond back to you. So, and I mean, it's even better than sending the mayor an email. I mean, not that you send me an email, I'll forward it to the right department and all that, but you may not hear back. We may solve it, but we may not close the loop the way that, but you 311, you call them, you get a ticket, your name's on it, and it's our onus to call you back or email you back and say, hey, look, you called us about this pothole and we got it filled in. So that's the value of it. So you'll talk to a person, you'll tell them what your issue is, they'll create a ticket, and then that ticket goes to the right department depending on what your issue is, and it's our job to solve it.
Okay, Mayor, thank you. I know I kept you a little longer because I want to talk about that unfortunate incident, and I wanted to talk to you about the 311 system, but thank you. And we'll see you on next Monday.
That's right.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right?
And Vernon, thank you. Thanks for spreading the word on this. And again, please, if you have any additional information, sometimes people think it's not a big deal, or it might be they already know that, things like that. Please, I would plead with the community to make sure that we're finding the people that are responsible for this, and that we have all the information to be able to bring them to justice. There's no information too big or too small. So certainly we encourage and appreciate all of the community that already has been stepping up to provide information to our police department, and we hope to continue to do so. So Vernon, again, thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, as I transition here, I just wanted to just let folks know that you are running for re-election. My next guest is running for governor. And I just want to transition to let everybody know that you're running for re-election. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you now. All right, y'all. That is Mayor D.C. Reeves, y'all. And this morning, y'all, that we got a very special guest this morning that just so happens to be running for the governor of Florida. And her name is Mrs. Dottie Joseph. Okay. Dottie, good morning. How are you?
I am alive and well. Good morning to you and all of your viewers, listeners.
Welcome to Morning with Vernon. Tell everybody who you are and where you're from and what we're going to be talking about this morning. I know you're running for governor, and so I don't know how familiar you are with folks here up in the Panhandle, but talk to us about Dottie Joseph.
Absolutely. Thank you for the invite. So for those who don't know me, I am State Representative Dottie Joseph. I am former Democratic minority leader in the Florida legislature. I currently represent the South Florida area, so northern Miami-Dade County, for people who are familiar with that. I was raised in Miami, public schools all throughout. I studied hard. I was able to go to Yale University for undergrad. But before that, while I was in high school, I was exploring the thought of being a lawyer. So I interned at the Miami-Dade Public Defender's Office. Unfortunately, this was back in the days of the crack cocaine epidemic, and there were a lot of people going to jail that just needed medical attention. And I decided I didn't want to be a part of that criminal injustice system. So at the time, I wrote off being a lawyer. Then when I went to college, I had the opportunity to intern for a congressman, first in his district office, doing constituent services, and I fell in love with that, helping people, make government work for them, solve their problems, get engaged with the federal agencies. And then over the summer, they invited me to come work on Capitol Hill as a legislative correspondent. So basically responding to people's letters and inquiries and emails. But then I got a front row seat to see how our democracy actually does not function. And I was completely disillusioned by how things actually happen in Washington, D.C. And I wrote off politics altogether. Fast forward, I graduate from Yale. And while I was at Yale, I was the chair of the NAACP Political Action Committee. So there was a lot going on there. I took some time off. During that time off, I am a PK, so I served as the acting youth director for my dad's church in Miami, and I was able to intern at the Carter Center in Atlanta with former President Jimmy Carter. So not while he was president. This is at the Carter Center, which still exists. I'm not that old. And we focused on democracy development in Latin America, the Caribbean, and West Africa. So this man, President Carter, and his wife restored my faith in what a public servant could be. Somebody who was out doing the work, not for self-aggrandizement, not for a title. He had already been president, and he was just out there trying to make people's lives better. So I said, okay, this I could do. I could be a track 2 diplomat, perfect for an introvert like me, and you never need to know I exist. So I did a program in The Hague in the Netherlands in mediation and conflict resolution to forward that. And then all of my mentors were like, listen, you're passionate about human rights and civil rights. You really need to consider law school. So I sucked it up and I went to law school. I was able to go to Georgetown University Law Center in Washington, D.C. And while a lot of my colleagues were out, making big bucks at fancy firms, I was out doing the Lord's work. So civil rights and human rights. I interned for the United States Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division. I interned with the National Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under the Law, where I helped co-author the nationwide manual to help nonprofit organizations register voters. Then during the summers, I would do something human rights related. So the first summer, I interned with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees in Egypt. I was working primarily with refugees from Sudan. And then the next summer, I interned with the Refugee Law Project in Uganda, where I was working primarily with refugees from the Congo. So graduated from law school at Georgetown. While I was there, I was also president of the Caribbean Law Students Association. Once I graduated, I clerked for a federal judge in Washington, D.C., the late Eugene Hamilton, who was actually the second African-American chief judge they had in Washington. And one lesson that really kind of sticks with me from him, actually, I'll give you two. One is, if it's to be, it's up to me, right? If there's something that you think needs to happen and it's not happening, then step up and make it happen. So that was one. And the second lesson, which really hits home for me, both as a lawyer and as a public servant, is it's never, when you're trying to make policy or you're trying to render a judgment in the case of the judicial branch, you always want to think about the impact of what you're doing beyond just the two people that are in front of you. Sometimes legislators, lawyers, they're focused on just the two parties that are in front of them as opposed to everybody else. So after that, I worked for a small boutique civil rights firm where we litigated employment discrimination, class actions all around the United States. I wrote briefs that took us all the way up to the Supreme Court, and I unapologetically kicked butt. Came back home to serve, became the first Black attorney to work at the city of North Miami Beach as assistant deputy and interim city attorney. Then here's how I ended up in politics. I had a Jonah's whale moment. Lots of people had been asking me to run for office, and my answer was a persistent no, like H no. But in 2015, I was involved in not one, not two, but 3 car accidents, none of which were my fault. And as a result of that, I had to really take stock of my life. It slowed me down long enough to reevaluate what I was doing, what contribution I was making. So at the time, I was already a public servant, making a 6-figure job with a pension, immigrant mom's dream. And then I realized I could and should be doing more. So I wasn't ready to run for office. It wasn't on a front burner or a back burner. It was just out of the trash as an option. So then I went on to be a partner at a law firm. And then fast forward, the gentleman that I ended up being a state representative. So long story short, I was trying to get people to run for a particular seat. They were not interested. So I went ahead and ran, and I was elected, and I've been serving since 2018. My time in the legislature has been fighting for literally pick any Democratic issue that you care about. I've probably been at the forefront of championing it. Despite being in the minority in the Democratic Party of the legislature, I've been able to work across the aisle to pass some meaningful legislation around expanding access to healthcare, protecting survivors of domestic violence, getting justice for victims of police brutality. I'll just highlight one example of that. There was a young man named Dontel Stevens who had been shot in the back by police. And a colleague of mine in Broward had reached out to see if I could help in the legislature because he had done everything he was supposed to do. He filed the claim, went through litigation. The jury gave them a $6 million verdict, but they couldn't access it because it was against a municipality. And there's a cap. To exceed the cap, you need something called a claims bill out of the legislature. So I partnered with a Republican colleague, and we got one of the first claims bills passed. I want to say by the time when we did it, there had been no more than 15 claims bills passed in the Florida legislature's entire history. Since then, we have a bunch more. So that's one example. I've also gotten other criminal justice reform done in the wake of the George Floyd murder. And that's with partnering with longtime organizations, law enforcement. So everybody from Black Lives Matter to NAACP to various Black lawyers organization, of which I'm past president of the Haitian Lawyers Association. And I'm a member of several of the Black bars throughout the state. So we were all able to put our heads together to come up with some meaningful criminal justice reform that we were able to usher through the legislature in a very bipartisan manner. So those are just some of the highlights. I have so many more that I can talk about, but that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, let me ask you this question, if you will. What was the epiphany that said, look, I'm going to run for governor? What motivated that?
Yeah, so it definitely was not on my bingo card. I'll say that. I was looking forward to a break after serving in the legislature. And people had been reaching out to me to consider running for a number of seats. And, I'll just be honest. Politics has been rough lately with the polarization that has been happening, not just in the state, but nationally. And it can wear you out, right? And I'm reminded of the scripture, do not grow weary in well-doing. So I try to keep that at the forefront when I'm thinking about what is going on in this state. And when Mayor Demings unfortunately had to step out a couple weeks ago, I was looking at our options. I wasn't too familiar with all of the options at this point. My focus had been in the legislature, and I just thought that we needed to have another option, somebody that we know is tried and true as a Democrat, that they have the record to substantiate it. So, I offered myself up, and I'm asking you all to put me in, coach, because I know the issues. I know the legislature. I'm a fighter. And you don't have to worry about what I will or will not do. There are a lot of things you won't have to explain to me because I already get it. So that's why I'm running. I'm here to make life better for Floridians. I know what it looks like when government doesn't work. And I know what it looks like when it does work for the people. And we need to make sure that government works for us and not against us.
If you're successful in your bid for governor, what are the issues that you're going to attack? I know in the state of Florida, as far as Black people are concerned, we've been under attack, in my opinion, as issues of book banning and the DEI and all this crazy stuff. What will your position be if you was elected and on dealing with those issues that affect the Black community?
Absolutely. So, first of all, I will make sure that education focuses on actually educating our children to prepare them for this global economy that we have, that they need to be competitive for, not these culture wars. I want to make sure our entire education is taught, not just bits and pieces that are whitewashed and some people are quote unquote more comfortable with. I think it's important that we have all of those options. In addition, when I'm thinking about things that impact our community, whether we're talking about criminal justice reform, I think about our returning citizens and how the current governor has really just gone after people who have already served their time. I have a legislation that I filed that addresses a lot of the things related to reentry, a lot of the things to make sure that once they've served their time, that they can be reintegrated into our communities communities and have the support that they need. And then we don't do this prison gerrymandering where people count for population purposes, kind of like the 3/5 clause in the Constitution, to make sure that they're counted where they're supposed to be counted, not where it's most convenient for certain numbers to be. I also want to make sure that when they are trying to vote, they have clear guidance from the state of what their rights are. I was a big proponent of Amendment 4, to restore the right to vote for returning citizens. And I filed legislation to close some of the confusion that the current administration had been capitalizing on, right? So that's one element. When we look at healthcare disparities, I was able to, in the legislature, help allocate $9 million towards addressing healthcare disparities, along with several colleagues in a bipartisan way. So this is not just, stuff I'm generically talking about. When we also talk about healthcare disparities, Black maternal mortality is a key issue. So one of the things that we were able to do with Representative Camilla Brown when she was serving was to expand Medicaid coverage postpartum from 30 days to a year. In terms of expanding access to affordable care, I have literally been the person to file the bill to expand Medicaid in multiple iterations throughout the course in the legislature. Unfortunately, the current Republicans that were in charge did not want to do so, but Florida is one of maybe 10 or 12 states that still has not expanded Medicaid. I take it a step further, because people talk about expanding Medicaid, but I'm telling you, that's like the floor. That's the very bare minimum. That would help cover close to 1 million additional Floridians who fall in the gap of coverage, who make too much to qualify for state support and not enough to qualify for federal support. So it's a real issue. But even beyond that, I filed the Healthy Florida Act. So that basically provides universal coverage. I mean, it's baffling to me that the United States is a so-called developed country, but doesn't have any form of universal health care. Every other developed country in the world has something, and we just don't, which it doesn't make sense because we can't afford it. I think people are tired of these culture wars and these foreign wars that are sucking up our resources when we have real needs here at home. The other priority I have is just in terms of overall economic advancement. And that comes in different layers. So it's partially education, which you touched on, but that education, I need to put it in the proper context. As a Black lawyer, one of the things that I focus on is civil rights. And one of the seminal cases that we have is Brown versus Board of Education, which desegregated public schools. Ever since that ruling, we have seen the continued relentless attacks on our public education system, traditionally, especially our traditional public schools. So I want to really root in on the foundation because there's been a lot of money that's been redirected to non-traditional public schools, and they are not held to the same account. They do not have access to the same resources. They have to meet completely different requirements. So it's time to level the playing field to make sure that all of our kids, regardless of zip code, receive a quality education. So that's one component. The other component is taking down costs overall, right? So whether we're talking about property insurance premiums, I've proposed lots of legislation to tackle that. And unfortunately, my Republican colleagues' response to that is to provide $1 billion bailout for insurance companies. I had proposed an amendment to that just to share some of the profits once the anticipated profits start to get in as a rebate to the homeowners, and my colleagues refused. So, I mean, that's one element. When we're talking about gas, I filed legislation to decrease some of the sales tax that goes to gas. When we talk about groceries, a big component of that is making sure we stop attacking our immigrant communities. I don't know what's going on with this governor, but he has this penchant for trying to vilify immigrants. And when we do that, all of our key industries in Florida are affected. When we're talking about agriculture, that's going to make, harder to get food on your table. It's going to interrupt that food chain. When we talk about healthcare, there's so many immigrants who are involved in key components of our our healthcare system who are immigrants, from doctors and nurses to support people and people at long-term healthcare facilities. I mean, y'all know them more than me, but we have such an aging population. We need to make sure that people are taken care of. Start talking about tourism, construction, literally any major industry that we have in Florida. Immigrants are a key component of it. So it's time that we shut those attacks down and let, I told you I'm a pastor's daughter. So the unbiblical attack on immigrants needs to end, because I was taught that we love our neighbor, that we treat the foreign born as our native born. And these are commands. They're not decoration. They are ways that we're supposed to treat people so that we can show our light and our love in our actions, not in our hate, but in our love. So those are some philosophies that I carry across, making sure that I propose legislation to address affordable housing. It's the Real Affordable Housing Relief Act. And there I detail a whole host of things that we can do to decrease the cost of housing and open up the housing stock. So, for example, one of the trends that we're seeing are these institutional buyers like hedge funds and private equity firms that are buying up housing stock. So I put a limit on how many single family homes they can purchase to make sure that we open up the housing stock that's available. They can't use AI to rent gouge people because they don't care if people actually live in these homes or not. They're managing their profit and losses. I mean, I can go on. I've been pretty prolific in the legislature in addressing some of the key issues that our community is facing. Unfortunately, with being in the minority, some of these things aren't passing here, but they're passing in other places. And I'll say that we've seen in other states where you have a Republican majority in the legislature and a Democratic governor, that governor is able to serve as a buffer for some of the worst policies that come out. For example, if I was governor when Stop Woke was coming out, first of all, it wouldn't have been a thing because I wouldn't have pushed it. And second of all, I would have vetoed it. So there are a lot of things that we can do, both in terms of the pardon power and the veto power and rebalancing the courts, that I would be able to do as governor to help make sure that we're focusing on us and not all the other drama.
Okay, now I like what you're saying. Now, what can we do to help other than vote for you?
Well, there are lots of things that you can do to help me. So my name is Dottie Joseph. That's spelled with one D. You can see it right there, DOTIE. You can check out my website. At my website, you can make a contribution. Every amount helps. So whether it's $5, the cap is $3,000. So if you got it like that, I would most appreciate it because we have a lot of work ahead of us. And the more money we have, the more we're able to communicate. But separate and apart from the money, I need people to understand that we are at a critical moment in not just this country's history, not just this state's history, but in world history. And we need to rise to meet this moment. We cannot afford to fumble this ball. Too much is at stake right now. And we're looking at the things, I talk to people all around, and people are looking to leave the country. They're looking to leave the state. They're worried about how their kids are going to get educated or not educated, how they're going to afford their bills. And we need somebody who gets it. I look at a lot of my colleagues and, they don't understand the impact of an emergency room bill. That can completely change your financial future. For them, they can just hop in their little private jets, go see whatever specialists they want, and they're over and done with it. Sometimes you need somebody who can not just hit the ground running, but understands your issues. As city attorney, one of the things I observed is there were policies that were proposed that sometimes would have disproportionately impacted different groups, whether it's people of color, women, etc. But when you have somebody at the table who gets it, right? You can mitigate all of that. Because people aren't always trying to do harm. Sometimes they just don't know any better. And that's the case on a lot of issues. You need somebody who gets it. You don't have to start from day one to educate them. I understand union rights. I understand civil rights. As a lawyer, I know how to issue spot and fix things. And that's what I'm really good at. And I'm focused on nobody else but you. I am unbought, unbossed, and really just focused on the people. So to support me, I need you to help spread the word, right? So, and for praying people, I appreciate prayers. So you can give, you can volunteer, you can spread the word, because the primary is right around the corner. Absentee ballots will start to drop, I want to say around the 10th of July. So whatever you can do to help me spread the word. Dottie Joseph, I am the real deal. I'm not new to this game. I'm true to this game as a Democrat. So, I need your support, and whatever you can do to help me spread the word, I would most appreciate it.
And you come with experience. I think you've been
8 years
with
in the legislature.
8 years in the legislature, so you know the
And
game.
before
You
that,
know the
as an
game.
attorney.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So, alrighty. Well, there's anything else, Dottie, that you want folks up here to know about you and your campaign and your bid for governor that we can do other than to pull out the stops and vote for you?
Sure. So I'm going to put on my little advocacy hat for a second, and
Okay.
which doubles with my candidate hat. So the deadline to register to vote or change your party affiliation. So let's say maybe you're a Republican and you like what you hear, or you're an NPA and you like what you hear. You want to support me. Then I need you to switch on over to the Democratic Party right quick and vote for me. So that's one. But make sure that everybody you know is registered to vote. We know that they have been purging people from the voter rolls. So take some time to check in on your own voter registration. If you want to call and get an absentee ballot. Different counties have different deadlines, but check and see, what you need to do to make sure you get your ballot. And then when you do get your ballot, I would say if you get it in the mail, I would say go drop it off at an actual polling site at the appropriate time, or at your local supervisor of elections, as opposed to dropping it in the mail. That's what I'm generally encouraging people to do, so that you know that it's safely in the hands and it's not lost in the mail or any of the stuff that we might be seeing. And just know that I'm here for you. So if you have any questions, you can catch me on Instagram. I try to answer my own DMs. It's a little bit harder now, but it's just Dottie Joseph. And you can always reach out to my office. Let's say you hear something and you want to actually talk to me about it. The best way to do is just reach out to my office, and we can schedule a call to answer whatever your concerns are. So thank you so much for having me. And, just shout out to you and your wife for this station, and the historical significance in this area of being the first African-American outlet at this level. So I thank you for your diligence, and I know that it's not easy, but it's appreciated. And I'm sure everybody who has the privilege of watching and listening to your program also appreciates it. So thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you so much. And it's important that we get a governor that addresses our needs. Okay, folks, this is Dottie Joseph with one T now.
Yeah, and just think Lottie Dottie, because I like to party. I cause good trouble, and I might bother somebody. So there you go.
Well, Dottie, thank you, and good luck on your bid for governor. Okay.
Thank you.
All right then. All right, y'all. Miss Dottie Joseph. Just go to her website, Dottie Joseph, DOTIE And there's a wealth of information on her website that you can learn all about her, and importantly, you can donate to her campaign, and you can talk about and read all the issues that's important to us, and that's what we need. A representative that's going to serve us. And if you look at her history in the Florida legislature, you know she got our backs. Okay, Dottie, again, thank you very much for taking the time and telling us up here in the Panhandle who you are and what you represent. And good luck.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, no problem. All right, y'all. It's time for me to get out of here. This time run fast. It's 9 o'clock, so I wanted to make sure that everybody knows to tune in to Morning with Vernon every morning from 6 to 9 every morning to find out what's happening in the community. And like I always say, I love you with Omar, we should always sign off saying, I love you with a perfect love. And George Wallace, the comedian, said, ain't nothing you can do about it. But old Blues Hound would say, don't forget, you's the only one that I love. So see you tomorrow.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. now, let's go. Get up now, turn it up now. 1,